Okay. So we'll start here with question 5. We'll do 5 and 6 and then we'll move on. Okay, so we take a look at our question. We have two positive numbers that differ by 5. So differ means subtract. And their product is 84. Okay, and product, you know, is multiply. Excuse me. So let's let the first number equal x and the second number equal y. But remember, I said we don't want to have two variables when we're solving these problems, because we'll get down to ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So there's no y in here. Okay, there's only one variable. So we need to get rid of this y. But what we note here is that the two numbers differ by 5. So if you went x minus y, you'll get 5. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you put first. You could go y minus x or x minus y, but the difference between the two numbers is 5. Okay, but as I mentioned, we don't want to use y here. So we'll rearrange this equation to be y equals x minus 5, like that. So just take your minus y over and bring your 5 over to the other side. So you'll end up with y equals x minus 5. So this here will become x minus 5 instead. So your two numbers are x and x minus 5. Okay, and when you add them, you'll get minus 5 as the difference. So that means then that their product is 84. So we'll have the product of the two numbers, x minus 5 equals 84. Okay, and then we expand it, x squared minus 5x minus 84 equals 0. If you factorize, you'll get x minus 12, x plus 7 equals 0. So x will be 12 or minus 7 here. So go back to your question. You can see that we want two positive numbers that differ by 5. Okay, so we only choose the positive number, 12. Okay, so x equals 12. That was your first number. The second number is x minus 5. So that's 12 minus 5. So x minus 5, that's 12 minus 5, which is 7. Okay, so your two numbers are 7 and 12. And we can write that down. The two numbers are 7 and 12. Well, 7 times 12 is 84. Let's check. 7 times 12 is 84. That's correct. That's this part here. And they differ by 5. So 12 minus 7 is 5. So that means that this is the correct solution here. So the two numbers are 7 and 12 for that question. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, it's not too hard. It's just a matter of getting this first step correct up here. Okay, so let's look at question 6. Looks harder. It actually ends up with quite a difficult equation at the end, but let's see what happens. Okay. So what we've got here is the numerator of a fraction. So the top number of a fraction is 5 less than its denominator. Okay. The sum of the fraction and its reciprocal is 2/25 on 104. We can change that to an improper fraction later. So this will become an improper fraction. We'll change that later. So the numerator of a fraction is 5 less than its denominator. So if the numerator is x, all right, so the numerator is x, and that's 5 less than its denominator. Okay, so the denominator must be x plus 5. So the denominator x plus 5, because it's saying that the numerator is 5 less than the denominator. So if the numerator is 10, the denominator would be 15, which means that the numerator is 5 less than the denominator, for example. So x and x plus 5. So that's our first fraction. So x on x plus 5. And the sum of the fraction and its reciprocal. So the sum of this fraction and its reciprocal. If you find the reciprocal of a fraction, it flips over, that's all. So the reciprocal would be x plus 5 on x, okay? And that equals to 25ths on 104, like that. So that's how you get a reciprocal. So basically, if your fraction is a on b, the reciprocal, RECIPROC8, the reciprocal will be b on a. So that's one thing to remember there. That's another word you may see, reciprocal, okay? So you end up with this equation here, okay? So basically that's part A done. This is part A, that's all you needed to do. So we just wrote out our equation, but now it says form an equation in terms of x. So we need to simplify this equation to be this. So actually this is the same as that, but you need to show that. You see that word show? That means you need to change this to be this form here, okay? Which is not too difficult. We can take a look at that. And you've actually, some of you have done these already. So the first thing I did here, I noticed, well, this mixed number, let's turn that into improper fraction first. So x plus 5 plus x plus 5 on x equals, now as a mixed number, that's 233 on 104, like that. So I just turned this into a mixed number, an improper fraction, sorry. So 2 times 104 plus 25 on 104. That's how you do that. Okay, so I just turned it to a mixed number. So then I noticed my denominators. The first thing I want to do is get rid of these here, the x plus 5 and the x. So then I would multiply everything by x plus 5 to the x. So times x plus 5. And I do that in each part here. So I'll have x plus 5, x plus 5, x plus 5. So you do that through the whole equation in every term, okay, every part of the equation. So then we will cancel out x plus 5 here. We cancel out the x here, and nothing cancels there. So we end up with x squared plus x plus 5 squared here from these two, and the x cancel, equals 233 x plus 5 on 104. Okay, so at this stage, you can see now I've got 104, which I don't want. So multiply everything by 104. I could have also done it at this stage as well here and did it in one step, but I split it to 2 steps. So times 104, times 104, and times 104 here. I did that so I can cancel that one there. Okay, you can see the numbers are going to be quite large, aren't they? So 104x squared plus 104x plus 5 squared equals 233x plus 5. Okay, so let's simplify this down a little bit. And you'll see that the numbers are going to be quite large. So you've got 104 x squared, that one's okay. So 104 x squared. So then you're going to get 104 here, but expand this bracket, you'll get x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 233 x squared plus 1165x, like that, just by expanding this section here. So that got me this side here on the right side. So then it gets a little bit messy. So you got 104x squared plus 104x squared plus 1040x plus 2600. Now I'll bring these to the other side, minus 233x squared plus minus 1165 minus 1165x equals 0. So if you simplify this, you'll end up with 25x squared plus 125x minus 2600 equals 0. Right, so what I did here then is I divided everything by 25. Okay, so then you'll end up with 25, 25, 25, 25 everywhere. And then you'll get down to the requirement, which is x squared plus 5x minus 104 equals 0. I kind of skipped a couple of steps in here, but you get the idea. I'm just simplifying down to here. Okay, nearly finished. So then this one's actually quite easy to factorize. So you'll get x plus 12 and x minus 7 equals 0. So your numbers, let's go back to the original question. Let's see if there's any requirement on the numbers. So I got 2 answers here, which was x equals minus 12. And the other one, x equals 7 for the original number. And let's see what the question asks for. Find the values of x. Okay, so these are the 2 values. So we can just stop